Hi, and welcome to British Dad Reacts. My name is John. Thank you so much for watching. And, well, it's always appreciated if you would consider leaving a like, subscribing, leave a comment or a recommendation. Now, I want to cover a track from 2004, and I'm going to show a version that was done on a BBC television programme from that year. And then I want to show a couple of clips from festivals which kind of demonstrate how the song has moved on through different generations. Now, the track is by a band or collective called The Streets. It's called Fit But You Know It. And, well, let's start it off and then I'll tell you a story.
Excuse me, girl. I know it's a bit embarrassing, but I just noticed some tan lines on your face, though. See, I reckon you're about an 8 or a 9, maybe even 9.5 in 4 years' time. That blue top shop top you've got on is nice. Bit too much fake tan, though, but yeah, you score high. But there's just one little thing that's really annoying me about you, you see. Yeah, like I said, you are really fit, but my gosh, don't he just know it? I'm not trying to pull you, even though I would like to. I think you are really fit. You're fit, but my gosh, don't you know it? So when I looked at you standing there with your ward, I was waiting in the queue looking at the board, wondering whether to have a burger or chips or what the shrapnel in my back pocket could afford. When I noticed out the corner of my eye, looking toward my direction, your eyes locked on my course. I couldn't concentrate on what I wanted to order, which left me my place in the queue I'm waiting for.
Now, The Streets are led by Mike Skinner and probably one of his longtime companions, Mike Trail, kind of co-vocaling. And this track obviously is about some boys in a kind of fish and chip shop, and he's trying to eyes up this girl that he thinks he quite fancies. Now, I kind of had this song really in a category that I wouldn't normally cover because it might be deemed somewhat sexist or misogynist even. But I was at an event, a wedding in fact, and there were lots of kind of, mid to late 20s, early 30s people. And in the way they do now, they don't hire a DJ, they just hire a sound system and put on a playlist. And this track got everybody up, dancing.
I'm not trying to pull you, even though I would like to. I think you are really fit. You're fit, but my gosh, don't you know it? Whoa! We can't have that behaviour in this establishment. Are we on the watershed yet? Can I swear? Is this the watershed? Alright, listen. For a while there I was thinking, yeah, but what if? Picturing myself pulling with bare white hot wits, snaring you as you were standing there opposite. Whether or not you knew it, I swear you would sit. And when that bloke in the white behind us like queuing was clocking onto you too, yeah, I had to admit that yeah, you are fit, and yeah, I do want it, but I stopped sharking a minute to get chips and dwinks. I'm not trying to pull you, even though I would like to. I think you are really fit. You're fit, but my gosh, don't you know it? Then just as you started to make your big advance with the milkshake and that little donut in hand, I was like, nah, I can't even know you look grand, but you look sharp, they're smiling hard, suggesting I'm mint away with your hearty looking tan. But I admit the next bit was spanner to my plan. You walked towards my path, but you just walked right past and into the arms of that white shirted man. I'm not trying to pull you, even though I would like to. I think you are really fit. You're fit, but my gosh, don't you know it?
This is just great UK hip-hop, grime, garage, whatever you want to call it. What a fantastic track. And Mike Skinner and The Streets are just legend in the UK.
What do I give up? I got a girlfriend anyway. We're all a bit drunk, we've had a few fair play. I got this fella up on from that last cafe. This night's not even begun. Yes, oh yeah. I did fancy you a bit though, yeah, I must say. I would rather I hadn't mugged myself on display, but this is just another case of female stop and play, and an otherwise total result of a holiday. I'm not trying to pull you, even though I would like to. I think you are really fit. You're fit, but my gosh, don't you know it? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Fit, but you know it. Fit, but you know it.
What a brilliant, brilliant track this is. It's just so good in so many ways. Now, the Streets really were a musical project led by Mike Skinner, who kind of grew up in Birmingham in England, which is the kind of middle of the country. And over time, he became known as a great kind of songwriter, come poet almost, a multi-instrumentalist, a producer, and he's collaborated with many artists and had some solo music as well. Now, when he formed the Streets, kind of in the 90s, they didn't really emerge into the music scene until the early 2000s. And this track, Fit But You Know It, was from their second album, released in 2004, and this track was released in 2004 in the UK. The album was called A Grand Don't Come For Free. For those who don't know what a grand is, in UK parlance, it's £1,000. Now, there was always something about Mike Skinner and the Streets and his lyrics and the way he just said things plainly. And it's a track that has kind of endeared itself to the British music scene. Now, from 2004, this was them at a Reading Festival in the UK in 2011. Just look at the crowd and the response.
But do you want to rock some more? Let me rephrase that, Reading. Let me fucking rephrase that, Reading. Do you want to rock some more? See, I reckon you're about an 8 or a 9, maybe even 9.5 before this time. That blue top you've got on this face. Be too much fake and no but there's just one little thing that's really annoying me about you. Yeah, like I said, you are really fit. But my gosh, don't you just know I'm not trying to fool you, even though I would like to. I think you are really fit. Yes. You're fit, but my gosh, don't you know? So when I looked at you standing there with your horn,
Topless on stage, probably before the days before everybody had to be kind of beefed up and with a six-pack before they would take their tops off, at least for blokes anyway, for men. He just comes across as a kind of ordinary guy having a great time with his crew. And I think that's one of the appeals of the Streets and Mike Skinner. They're not trying to pretend to be anything. They're just being who they are. And the crowd just love it. And I love it. It's a great, great track. Now, for the final clip, really, I want to show again how this track has kind of, as I say, stayed with people and young people. And this is 2019, 15 years after the track was released. And this was another festival, Boomtown Festival in the UK.
you see me? Can you hear me? See, I reckon you're about an 8 or a 9, maybe even 9.5 in 4 beers time. That blue top you've got on is nice. Bit too much fake and no. But there's just one little thing that's really annoying me about you, see. Yeah, like I said, you are really fit. But my gosh, what?
Don't you just know
I'm not trying to pull you. Boomtown,
I would like to.
you are there. You were there all the time.
My gosh, don't you know?
So when I looked at you standing there with your horn, I was waiting in the queue looking at the board, wondering whether to have a burger or chips, or what the shrapnel in my back pocket could afford. When I noticed out the corner of my eye, looking to all my direction, your eyes locked on my course. I couldn't concentrate on what I wanted to order, which lost me my place in the queue I'm waiting for. Yeah!
I'm not trying to pull you,
Hey!
even though I would like to.
You see?
I think you are really fit. You're fit, my
Hey!
gosh, don't you know?
What an amazing response 15 years after the track was released, people are still just enjoying this track and this band so much. And there's kind of one little quirk in there which I think is very kind of British when he says, and my gosh, don't you know it? The use of the word gosh. It's a very British kind of term. Oh my gosh. What a great, great track. And what a great journey for the Streets. They kind of broke up, reformed, you know, as Mike Skinner did other things. But as the Streets and some of the tracks they released around that time, that just became almost kind of quintessential British hip-hop. Really, really wonderful. So, the Streets. Fit, but you know it. As I said, please consider leaving a like, subscribing, leave a comment or a recommendation. I really wanted to kind of showcase some of the enduring music, British music here, and British hip-hop rap that often doesn't go beyond the barriers of the UK and Europe, doesn't kind of break America. But what an artist, what a band, what a track. Thank you so much for watching.